All right, what is going on, guys? It is time for another episode of the Chasing Waypoints podcast. This time around, episode 31. That is right, 31 episodes deep on this one. Last week, we were talking about enjoying the ride, and this week, we're talking about planning one. So, talking to our good friend Mao out of the Lost in Baja camp this week. Ran an idea by him and said, hey, I really want to do this. And basically the conversation boiled down to, why aren't you doing this? So this episode, on episode 31, we just want to talk a little bit about what we've got going on and what we're going to be planning. And for those of you who may not be able to make the ride because you are listening from abroad, I'm going to talk about what I am doing to actually plan for this ride and account for as many things as possible. It's always better to be best prepared, just in case. But yeah, been a good week so far. Heater is still on here in San Diego. I'm ready for some winter-ish weather. We'll get out and do some riding and pre-run some of this stuff. So definitely looking forward to that. Got some more rally stuff coming up. This past weekend, Ricky Brabeck on that number 2 spot with the HRC rally bike on Vegas to Reno. Impressive. Up against a bunch of light sprint bikes versus the bigger, heavier rally bike. But then, of course, it is the lighter of the rally bikes. So that was awesome to see him out there, Ironman in that thing. Get a little bit of distance between that because of the fuel capacity. Not having to stop every 80 or so miles. I think that was their plan. I don't know. But it seemed like a pretty awesome time. Looking forward to seeing some more stuff. Another one I didn't even mention, but I know some of you guys might have seen. If you were watching Red Bull Romaniac's Paul Tarez, if that's how you pronounce his last name, on the Yamaha T7, doing some hard enduro stuff, sans the exhaust pipe. Let me tell you about how mean a 700 sounds. So that was pretty awesome. Head on over to his channel, or if you've been catching up, you can always watch it on Red Bull TV. There is the Red Bull Romaniacs. There's a lot of media on him as he was the basically 2 bikes in 1 competing on that. So it was pretty awesome to see. Be cool to go out and check out that event one of these years. So anyway, let's get this show started. Just catching up on the news there. Got some more rally stuff coming up. I think for the next episode, I'll try and catch us up on some of the rallies that are going on. I am working on getting another guest. It's been a little bit for this guy. Been around racing for a very long time and is one of the more prominent figures in a rally raid here in the local side of things. Internationally traveled man of mystery. But once I can shore that up and make sure we got him on the show, I will let you know who it is. Or maybe you'll just hear the episode when it comes out. But a lot of people do know who he is. Have worked with him directly. I've worked with him for a few years. And yeah. So yeah. Because yeah. All right. So what were we talking about? Ride planning. So this was brainchild. This is something that I've been thinking about doing for a while. I just never really went for it, right? I always got caught up in the logistics and time and what to do and all of this stuff. And finally, I just, like I said, I was talking to my friend Mao, known him back from the DJing days. And it was a great conversation. He is, runs the, Lost in Baja, tour and, experience company down in Baja, based out of Ensenada. He is also part of, or a very big part of, the Baja Rally as well, and runs a lot of stuff for them, kind of makes that show happen. So I've known him for many years, and we've always talked, and I've always bounced ideas off each other. And this one came up, and I was like, I really want to do this. And you've been talking about this for a while, so it's kind of time to do it. Just do it. Don't be afraid. And so here we are. I've spent the whole afternoon basically working on this. And for me, I like the logistics side of things, right? And so I'm working on this game plan and what we're going to be doing and what the route is going to be. And the route is nothing fancy. I didn't want to do that, but get too crazy. But what I did want to do is make sure that it's a something that's manageable and doable. So just kind of starting from the beginning, right? You heard on one of the previous episodes of how a couple of these guys build road books and kind of get an idea. And for me, I know some of these roads, or I know the roads that I'm trying to take, but not going to leave it to chance and just say, okay, here's the GPS route and we're going to go run this in a few months. So for me, I've got the route pretty much set. And then once I set that route, now I'm looking at, okay, what are my distances? How much of it is going to be road? How much of it is going to be dirt? What's the distance between fuel stops and available fuel? You got to account for different things, right? I mean, if this would be big bike friendly, so if you're on the Elephants or the 1200 GS Adventures or 1250s now, it's doable. Part of what I'm also doing is trying to figure out the terrain, because if you heard the planning a trip or planning a route episode way back when I was first getting started, that was one of the things. So I was talking to my friend Gnarly Dave, and we were talking about it this morning, and I was like, I'm not going to say that it's easy or it's hard or that it's this or that. It really in the end is going to be something where I'll be able to describe the route and what's on the route, and then we leave it up to the rider, or I leave it up to the rider to decide whether or not that's going to be within their skill set. Spoiler alert, sand. So half of you just said, nah, never mind. But no, I mean, on the big bikes, there's tactics, but if now there's going to be a way to, how would you say, a way to kind of start maybe practicing, get your skill set up, kind of learn a little bit more about it. And I'm not talking about Glamis sugar sand, just, talking about sandier conditions. So, sand can be a lot of fun to ride once you start to master it, because the bike and the traction and everything is just kind of easier, I think, but I don't know. I'm more, obviously I'm more timid in the sugar sand, but in the sandier stuff, it's not that bad. I did some of that, running the Dos Mujeres, road book with, Gnarly Dave a couple of weekends ago, on the 790. And yeah, I mean, it takes it a second to get up on plane, but once it is, oh man, is it a lot of fun. But yeah, so looking at this, right, and looking at it from the bird's eye view up, 50,000 feet or however you want to call it, whatever kind of corporate terms you want to use on that. I'm looking at it thinking, okay, well, I know the route, I know where we're headed, how many miles in a day? And I'm thinking, the first day is going to be a doozy. I'm thinking it's going to be almost close. It's going to be about 190 miles total, for the first day. So then from there, day 2 and then day 3 are less miles per day. So you're really going to get worn out on the first day of this thing. And then from there, the rest is just going to be a little bit more chill. So knowing the mileage, right, deciding how many miles is feasible in a day, and especially, depending on how big a group. And I don't know how big this group is going to get or what's going to happen with this. All I know is I'm going for a ride on this particular set of dates, and I'm going to let everybody know what it is. And yeah, and so that way, it's a little bit more loose. I don't want to have it this big deal, and I don't want to have, or like, I don't know if that's the correct way of saying it, but I want it to be fun for everybody that wants to go, and it's just a bunch of people getting together and go for a ride, go explore some Baja stuff. I know a lot of people haven't been to some of the areas or some of the places that I want to go, which for others, the locals, is like, oh, you're going there again. But whatever. I think each time is unique. The people you bring with you, everybody, the adventures and stuff like that, and everybody kind of working together. So, I think it's going to be fun. But yeah, so far on the route, I'm thinking it's going to be about 400 miles across 3 days. Then we're going to do, like I said, the first day is going to be the longer day. Then we're going to break it down to 2 shorter days. Saturday is going to be the shortest day, but it also puts us in a really cool location to just hang out and unwind. And I think that a lot of people will probably continue to go back to that place after we go there. So we want to do that. But the same thing, right? It's like, okay, shorter day. Where's the mileage at? Where's the fuel? Where can we get food at? That kind of thing. I put it in boxes. is kind of how I'm planning this. Is like, okay, first I've got the general route. Next thing I need to know is, all right, well, how much street, how much dirt. Then after that, I need to figure out the fuel, where the fuel is going to be. Then it's figure out logistics wise. Okay, we're taking equipment. We're going to have chase. We need to have somebody in a certain location with certain equipment, certain things, that kind of stuff, and then who do you bring along? You want to bring along someone that can ride a bike in case something happens. You want to have somebody that's at least versed enough to be able to jump on a bike and make it happen, even if they've never ridden that kind of a motorcycle. So you kind of plan for these different things. And that's just kind of how I've always planned stuff, is that it's like you think about things in boxes. Okay, what are we going to do for communications? What are we going to do for food? What are we going to do for water? What are we going to do or hydration? That way it's kind of a pattern that you develop. And then every time you go to plan these routes, it just makes it that much easier, because you kind of know, okay, onto this box. Okay, onto this box. And for me, that's, just kind of how I'm looking at it. But I'm looking forward to it. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I think a lot of people will enjoy it, and hopefully we get a pretty big turnout for it. I'm going to put some stuff on the Chasing Waypoints website. So if you want to roll to that, I'll include the link in there. And basically what it's going to be is just going to be kind of like a RSVP form. So yes, there is going to be a cost to this, but it is basically being ran as a non-for-profit. So the cost is going to go directly to room and board and food and drinks and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not in this to make money. We're out to have fun. And so we'll just coordinate everything for you basically. And that way it takes some load off. But, of course there's a dollar figure. And, if, as I used to ask students when I worked in the college sector and interviewed students, this was a question that I don't know where I heard it, but it always stuck with me, and is, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do for free? So I'm kind of doing it, sort of. But, to me, it's one of those things that if we can all go out, have fun, and make it happen, and I think it leads to others, and it's networking, and it's, it's just a great time. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing on this thing. Like I said, I'll share some details. I won't officially announce the actual route that we'll be taking until I can actually get down there, pre-run it, and make sure that it is doable. Basically take an inventory of the terrain that we're going to be crossing. I mean, I have a pretty good idea right now, but I haven't been there in a while, so I don't know. I know that there's a couple of uphills that could be challenging. Depending on the skill set of the rider. And, I like I said, I consider myself a beginner intermediate rider. And so I'm more cautious, not conscious. I'm definitely conscious. But I look at it through the eyes of the beginner. It's like, okay, is this too gnarly? Is this going to be too hairy for some of these guys? Or, are we all going to work in a team and help get these elephants up this thing? Or, what are we going to do? So I think it'll be fun. And then the awesome part about it is, I know what I'm kind of looking forward to it being is, like, there's going to be a ton of midweight bikes that I think will really enjoy this route. I think this is going to be that route for the midweight adventure bike. The skinny bikes, if we get any skinny bikes to go, it'll just be another day, and it's, it'll be fun for sure. But the midweight bikes, there's going to be some areas where they really shine. And you get a chance to kind of ramp it up. So I'm looking forward to that part. It should be fun. But yeah, so let's see. What else we got going on? So we have that. I'm already kind of without even really thinking about it, already working on prepping the 790 to go do some pre-running for it. Forks are back out to conflict, making some adjustments there. Then bringing that back in, we've got the foot brake to work on, because as I quickly found out on this last go around running that road book, the rear brake was basically like a light switch, which is a little bit interesting, especially when you're using riding boots. You want to have a little bit of that brake feel, and I think the pedal was just a hair too high with using those Raid Garage lowering pegs. So want to adjust that. Handlebars are dialed in. Got to get the other handguards on there with the mirrors. GPS is going back off. The navigation equipment is going to come off for this stuff since I won't be needing it. I may even do a road book for this. Obviously, just thinking about it, it's probably not going to have a whole lot of notes in it, but whatever. It's always good practice. It'll also help calculate things a little bit quicker too. If you just drop some points, open up some waypoints, or put some waypoints on the actual road book, makes it fairly quick to dial in distances and stuff like that. So looking forward to that part of it. Do that. I hadn't really thought about that, but that's true. It may actually make some of the stuff I'm trying to do a little bit quicker. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. I'm looking for. I've been looking in, and I think Skinny Bike's coming soon. We'll see. I gotta get that 850 out of here, so I got an 850 GS, rented it out this weekend. Everybody loves the bike that rides it, and it's a great bike, but it's just I want something to run road books in, and I don't know that I could put that thing on a diet enough to make that happen. And the 790 is just a hair too big for my abilities in the dirt. And plus, I see some of the stuff that Travis Brock over at Every Single Sunday does on his bikes, and some of the rides he goes on. And this last video I was watching of him, they were out doing a ride. I'm trying to remember where they were at, but there's just this like really fast flowing, real technical, not super technical, I guess I should say, but just like this really cool area to ride in. And so I don't know, I'm navigating to his YouTube, which is Every Single Sunday. Let's see. Yes. Jumping Logs 101. That was the video that I was watching. He uploaded about 4 days ago. And it's Enduro Fun PNW Ride Days with RTR Rentals. So, I'm going to drop a link to this video in the description. So if you guys want to check that out. I've known Travis for a while. We were back at the SDRC, or San Diego RC Raceway. That's where I met him, and I used to do the race directing there. And after that is like he sold off, he moved on, and then got back heavily into dirt bikes and doing that stuff. Did a couple of rides, and now he's just been riding all over the place. And I'm just watching this like GIF image of the ride, and it's so awesome. He's on the gas 2-stroke for this ride, and so it's actually really cool. The 2-strokes, it's funny how they've made such a big comeback. And I know they've been around a lot for the hard enduro stuff, but it seems like now it even more so. It's gotten even bigger. So I think that I don't know. Maybe eventually I start doing this full time, and you never know. Maybe I end up with one, and then I can start going on rides, and I don't know. It only takes money. And if anybody knows what tree that grows out of, I would sure love to know. I can plant a few in the backyard. We got a little bit of room. And if it's the other kind of trees in California, it's legal, but I don't know how it's accepted on the other states. So I don't know if I want to get into that business yet. But I have seen some pretty interesting stuff. This is kind of crazy and complete offshoot of that. But I found out that some of the owners of shopping centers that happen to have these, I'll just say it, dispensaries, have a roundabout way of joining the business, and that's by charging an exorbitant amount of rent to these places to help, jump in the business, so to speak, without actually being in the business, so to speak. So location, right? That's what they say. So anyway, so going back to it, got that ride, like I said, that I'm planning and trying to work on and get together. Today was literally like day one of planning this. It had been in the back of my mind for a while, so I kind of already had pre-ran it, but this was the first time it's been like really like hardcore pen to paper. All right, we're going to figure this out. So I'm looking forward to it. Trying to think, where to base it out of. I already know there's 2 stops, but it's like, well, where this ride would start from, is it better to kind of near a hotel and have people, like if people are coming from afar, to be able to stay somewhere and that kind of thing. And so I don't know. I guess the best thing you can do is just plan for it and see what happens. and I think that, like I said, I mean, I think a lot of people will enjoy this route. And if you've been on it before and once it's announced and all that stuff, then you've been on it before. And but have you been on it before with a group of guys that, a different group or whatever it is, that's the whole thing. So going back, I'm thinking that this is really going to be like, the ride is really going to be cool. And I know that night one is going to be a little bit harsh, but that means that we could get a little bit later start on day 2 because that is the shortest day. Still going to be a lot of dirt. Day 2, I think, is going to be, percentage wise, is going to be a shorter day, but it's going to be a higher percentage versus road on the dirt side. So I'll release that stuff later, once I'm able to pre-run it or once I feel a little bit more comfortable with that. But the things that I'm looking forward to in doing this is getting everybody together, the stories, and then that night, both nights, is just hang out, share the stories and stuff like that. And I hope some of these guys that I know that have bigger bikes or any of the bikes, want to come out and talk about it, because there's, I've say that I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of really interesting people that have traveled the world, that have learned so much and have so much knowledge to share. And I think that it would be a really cool setting. I mean, imagine going on a ride and rubbing elbows with, somebody that's raced Dakar before and has been to Dakar a couple of times, or, helps prepare stuff for some of the top teams, or, you never know who you're going to meet. And that was something that I learned a long time ago. You never know who's watching. You never know and that was back from the DJing days. I always thought about it and looked at it the same, just be professional. You never know who's watching. You never know who's in the room listening. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that. I think that's like that bivouac, that bivouac vibe. Yeah, there's not going to be like rally racing, quote unquote, or rally raid going on, but the idea of, getting a bunch of people together with the war stories and everything that, and the different rides and stuff that they've done, I think that's going to be really cool. And I really think that that's the whole emphasis on this, so something to get people together and see some cool stuff. Hopefully the timing that I'm picking is going to be towards the end of the year. Early December is my plan right now. Got to check the weather and kind of get an idea about that, and what it's normally like around that time of year. Because that can make a serious or have a serious impact on the route, because some of these sections can get really muddy, really bad. And other parts of the section or other areas will just be even more epic if it's wet, primarily the sand stuff. So I don't know, we'll see. I have some friends and stuff like that I'm going to confide in and be able to get more information and get some input on it, because, I want everybody to have fun and have a good time. And so I think that's going to be really cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, thinking about it, I mean, that's pretty much what I've been up to this past week, and just going back and reviewing some of the stuff that I've done. And, I'm looking at my bike going, all right, the 790, and thinking, okay, what are the things that I need to change? And I placed an order with, it's floating around here somewhere, with Taco Moto. Got some stuff from them, primarily the LED relay for the 790. Because the turn signals that I have on it were like super hyper flashing because they're LEDs. And so I needed to slow that down. And so, supporting the local business. So I'm looking forward to that. I know I still got an order. I still got to talk to Matthew Glade over at RMS. Haven't ordered the stuff. I want to get everything, like, once the navigation stuff comes off the 790, I want to make sure that I put it onto like a set of handlebar clamps, and just basically have it ready to go and bolt onto a dirt bike. That's my plan. And I even thought about something, and I'm not actually, you know what? Never mind. I didn't think about something. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, because I don't want people to copy it. I want to try it out first and see if it works. And then, I'll share it with the rest of the world. So that's the plan for the rally equipment. So I could start getting ready for when the skinny bike hits the garage, the 850's departure. Get that done, and then yeah. So I think it'll be a good week's worth of work. I did some plumbing in the garage. I'll post a picture of that on the Chasing Waypoints official Instagram. If you are listening to this, don't worry. I know what I'm doing, I think. But yeah, so anyway, it's rated to 480 PSI, so I doubt I'm going to have an issue with PVC pipe blowing up with air compressor pressures. But yeah, so another shout out, totally not a commercial. By the way, we don't have any show sponsors for this. So, I think Future Bridge, something like that. We're getting up there. We're at, I think the official count now is 6,200 total plays across the 30 episodes that are out now. So pretty stoked on that. When I started it, when I put the very first episode together, it was literally just me talking and like no intro, no outro. Audio quality was a little shady, or it wasn't the best per se. I was, I didn't know what I was doing. And man, I'm telling you, when I got to 25 listens on that episode, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be big. This is huge. Literally, Spotify, my last name has 2 L's in it, for when you send that contract over. But, well, here we are, 30 episodes deep, talked to a lot of people, 31 episodes. This is episode 31. So I think that is, I'm digging it. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. Tools for the garage. So, there's been a couple of things going on. Like I've just been setting up the garage little by little, getting things going. I moved the 3D printer down to it, and that thing, 3D printers will accelerate your aging by 1.5 to 3 times the normal speed. Trying to dial them in, and that's where people like Chris over at MotoMinded, that's been 3D printing for a while and for quite some time. A lot goes in to dialing in a 3D printer. Yeah, rapid prototyping, but which is awesome. But at the same time, it takes a lot of effort to calibrate, set up, get it running. So a lot of you guys, or people that are listening and thinking, I'm going to get into 3D printing, I'm going to get into mass production. The word of warning is be ready to want to give up every day and every print, because it really does take a lot of time. There's some printers out there that really have like some easy to tune functions and things like that. But the moment you try and go fancy and go faster, things get interesting. So there's a lot to learn, a lot to diagnose, if the print looks like this, print looks like that. So anyway, 3D printers now downstairs. Making room for that, getting that set up, because I need to get like an enclosure for it, because when you print ABS, if you literally walk by it, the print will bend and then come off of the plate, and then messes. So we did that. We've got I saw this one and I thought, like, damn, that's handy. When we were down at Sonora Rally, I was over in the Conflict Motorsports / Rottweiler pit area and or bivouac area, and I saw Chris was using one of these like Craftsman electric power washers. And I was like, dude, that's super cool. Because we have one here that's gas powered, it's all old and clunky, and, hopefully you drain the gas out of the bowl so it's not, the carburetor's not all gummed up. So I saw that and I was like, I think that would be a handy tool. So finally tracked one of those down, got that, added that to the garage. Then the next thing, and this is the one that I was like, I don't want it to sound like a commercial, but California air compressors, if I remember correctly. This was another suggestion on behalf of Travis from Every Single Sunday, and I was over there picking up some stuff, and we were talking, and he's all, dude, check this out. And he turns on the air compressor, and you see somebody walk over to an air compressor and you're like, here comes the noise. This thing is like literally so quiet, it's crazy. It's the craziest thing ever. So I went ahead and picked one of those up. I picked up the small one. In hindsight, maybe wanted to have gone a little bit bigger, but at the same time, with the tubing that I added this weekend, pretty much doubled the size of the capacity of it because of how much air is held in the tubes. So hopefully it doesn't blow up. We took great care of that and already leak tested it. Looks like we were going to be good to go. But yeah, so it's kind of fun, right? getting to play garage, build stuff, and make sure that, everything is, the tools are in the right place, the pegboard up on the wall with the fancy setup and all of that stuff. I'm not big screen TV cool yet, but, the night is young. You never know. I don't know what I would put a TV in there, especially right now in the summer months, because it's like an oven in there, It takes about 20 minutes before it starts to smell, a little bit, dripping sweat, Maybe I should start doing like hot yoga in there or something in the summer months. Get into riding shape. Yeah, round to oval or square or whatever, however they say it. But anyway, so that's pretty much it, man. It's kind of been a short week and busy at work as usual and trying to get everything squared away. But I've just been consumed with this, it's got to do a ride. Got to do some stuff. I kind of hinted at it last episode, I believe it was. But now it's like I'm on it. And so we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. Like I said, I'll put a link to the to a form, kind of like an RSVP form, but I gauge interest, okay, well, how many people are realistically interested in this? Because, I don't want to I need to plan accordingly, right? The more people you have, the more stuff you're going to need, the more things the more resources you'll need to have, that kind of thing. The greater the chances of something happening. So all of that fun stuff. And so, we'll see how that goes, but I'll put that in that link in the description. I'll put a link in the description of the video that's just literally playing in the background right now from Travis over at Every Single Sunday. And yeah. And then go back to having some fun. Like literally as soon as we're done with this episode, I'm going right back to planning and doing this thing, and at least get the ball rolling, get so far down the field, I guess we could say, if we want to use some football terminology. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. I think it'll be fun. So anyway, I made it 32 minutes on this episode already. Wow. So anyway, hoping everybody's had a good week and they were riding along and having fun. We'll get back to doing some more In the Bivouac episodes of just getting some people lined up and making sure we're ready to go. Probably end up talking a little bit more about the SoCal Roadbook Rally that's coming up. Also got to get Happy Dave back on the episode. I want to talk shop with him. I know they've got an event that they're working on as well. And so, yeah. Because, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of stuff coming. Like I said, I think that it will definitely continue to grow, and I'm looking forward to doing some more stuff for you guys and get some more information out there. The rally raid side of things, I was talking to Dave this morning. I kind of closed the show, but now we're going back into it. Yeah, we'll go back into it really quick. So something interesting, right? Now that I'm really like doing some more digging and talking to more people and all that stuff, there is a secret rally society in the United States. There, I've said it. And it's going to be public. So if I disappear, you guys know what happened. No, I mean, not joking. Like there's now I'm getting more into there's more and more people that are already planning and doing stuff or have been doing stuff, but just really haven't made it super like publicized and whatnot. And I kind of understand why. And at the same time, it's like, hey, you know what? This is going to help this whole thing grow. So for me, to the people that are thinking, that are listening, that have been following along and even like all the way back to the starting from zero episode where, just the whole like, okay, this is the whole rundown. I think that there's a lot of stuff coming. So if you are already getting started in roadbook navigation and already getting kind of like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, start doing it. Start getting your setup, get out on the bike, get out on that kind of stuff, and just try and figure it out. Because I think there's a lot of big things coming. I know that the Coda Rally is coming up as well in September, beginning of September, if I'm not mistaken. So that's not too far away. That one is going to be a pretty epic time. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it due to prior engagements, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Probably catch up with Mike Graves here, maybe right before the event, and just kind of see how things are going, or maybe right after the event. Probably right after the event, because if it's anything like what I'm used to, no matter how organized you are right before the event, it's always go time, and you don't really have a lot of time to stop and do some stuff. But yeah, so COTAH Rally, COTAH Rally, COTAH Rally Adventures is the website. If you guys have been kind of thinking about doing some stuff and you already got the navigation equipment, that's your next stop. After that, you've got Baja Rally. After that, SoCal Roadbook Rally. And then I want to talk to Happy Dave. I don't know when their event is, so or what they're planning. So we'll see. I'm going to reach out to him probably right after this episode as well, and just kind of get the skinny on it and coordinate maybe if we get him on this week, and maybe we'll talk to him for next week's episode. You never know. But if you do want to know, make sure you like and subscribe. So yeah. Anyway, hope everybody's had a good week, and looking forward to next week and also releasing some details on this stuff. So yeah, everybody have fun. And here's the outro. All right, that is a wrap for the Chasing Waypoints podcast this week. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you heard. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and a bunch of others. Also, follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook under Chasing Waypoints, Instagram Chasing Waypoints _official, and of course, the YouTube under Chasing Waypoints. Hope everybody has a good week. We will see you guys for the next episode. Remember, shiny side up, and don't forget to tag us. We want to see where you guys are riding and what you guys are up to. Have a great week.